which I was definitely guilty of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, ladies, I'm going to go live now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, GM, everybody. It's just like it's Monday. And Sherry, to your point, I try to. I'm like, when they say the first step is admit that you have a problem. I have a problem. My phone has not let go of my hand since I got my iPhone 3 or whatever. Whenever we got the iPhone. I think after the iPhone 4, that was it. I was addicted. So, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. I really go out of my way not to even like look at my phone. But then when you look at your phone finally, you're like, oh my goodness, I missed all this stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of FOMO that's involved. That's part of why I'm like, I gotta put this thing down for a little bit, and be okay with it.
Yeah, that FOMO is just like we should do a class about that. FOMO is like
absolutely.
Really bad. And also with the history of social media, right?
Yes, totally. From Web 1 to Web 3.
Yes, so we're going to talk about that. Emily, did you? I think I cut you off on accident.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was going to say I will teach that class on getting rid of the FOMO, because I have learned very much over the last year how not to fear missing out, how to love missing out. I'm enjoying not being bombarded and overwhelmed with all the stuff that comes through on like social and stuff. So I've actually been like pulling away and putting my team to work on more of like the social stuff and everything, and trying to like do more networking in person and like connect with people in person more, because I was going a little crazy during the pandemic. And I'm enjoying quiet time at home more than like I ever have in my life, and like just turning everything off and meditating and all. And I'm like, everyone's like, oh, you're going to miss this. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. You can loop me in later. Tell me all about it.
Let me text Terry, our VP, but she does. We usually do a breathing exercise. No, I don't see you. Okay, let me send her the link again. And hold on. She's like, you can't see me, hear me. I don't see her. Hold on 2 seconds.
I don't see. Oh, I see her. She just popped in. I see it. Wait.
Hi.
Good morning, GM. How are you?
I'm good. How is everybody doing?
We are doing great. We're just excited because I'm so excited to have Sherry on. So before we start, I want to welcome everyone into the space. This is our Empower Yourself Monday, episode 29. And as you know, we're the Association for Women in Communication, the South Florida chapter. We're one of the first chapter from our national to embrace social audio. National is starting to talk about it. But last year we did Women in NFT space, where we feature all the different variety of all the different projects of all the different women from all over the world. That was really incredible. And so this year we started a podcast, which is Empower Yourself Monday, where we feature a woman who is an outstanding communicator who has gone through horrible things, great things, good things, bad things, and then great things again. So we want to feature that. We usually host before the pandemic. I feel like we have to set the time zone here, the era. Before the pandemic, we would host these Empower Yourself luncheon or dinner, and where we bring together 8 different women from all over the world. They share their story. And now because of the pandemic, we couldn't do that. But so we started this project, and so far it's been doing fantastic. And I'm getting ready to do some other things with it. And so what we've done is we have partnered with another company. So we're going to stream this out again on another platform live. So right now we're just doing it live. It's streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter Live. So I'm letting everyone know this, because once you grab the mic, to ask Sherry some questions. You're going to be known that we're recording and we're streaming and we're doing other things with. There's a lot of stuff that goes in that I figured we can catch every single segment and then make it into a story. So everything's written out as a blog also. So before we start, we usually do a breathing exercise. And again, I wanted to let you guys, ladies, know that we've our national chapter has been around since 1909. When you think about women empowerment, you would think about Association for Women in Communication. And along the way, we originally started out as a journalism. We were founded by the second student journalist newspaper in America. And we went on to have a Professional Women Association. So Barbara Walter, Ann Curry, Eleanor Roosevelt is one of us. So today we're honoring Sherry McCracken, and then she is someone I've met and with my other space that I'm just so in awe with and hearing her story. So I'm going to go ahead and give the mic to Terry. She's going to lead us into a breathing mindfulness exercise, because I you know what, Terry, I hear so many people give me so many compliments about you.
Oh,
and they actually take some of your breathing exercise and use it on their space. So the mic is yours, Terry.
absolutely. Welcome, everybody, wherever you are, standing, sitting, laying down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And exhale out. Relax your face. Relax your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Let them just fall down from being scrunched up. Feel the stress. Visualize the stress going down your arms, out through your fingertips. Relax your chest, your torso, your hips. Visualize, again, the stress going down your legs, out through your toes. And you're completely relaxed, gently breathing in and out through your nose. And all I want you to do is visualize and think about the air, the precious air going in and out through your nose. Any other thoughts come into your mind, allow them to float away like clouds in the sky. And keeping your eyes closed, take another deep breath in. Hold it. Exhale. And I have closing thoughts for you this morning. Don't ask to understand the secrets of the universe, but simply to know what this moment, where we are right now, means. It's easy to get lost in endless speculation. So today, release the need to know why things happen as they do. Instead, ask for the insight to recognize what you're meant to learn from them. Namaste. May the divine in me honor the divine in you. Thank you.
I think this is my favorite part of Monday, actually. Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
And I'm also on the space here with Emily Taffel. She is our communication director. And Emily, I have text you Sherry's bio, and between the three of us, I can't believe we made it through the pandemic. Right, ladies?
I know that was a long haul, but we did. We missed I mean, it changed how we did everything, but we made it through.
Yes, yes, yes. And then I think because of this space, we have an idea for an upcoming event we should be doing, Emily. But today I want to go ahead and say a shout out to She Crypto, who is my other co-host. Again, this is Tonya Scholz, by the way. I'm using I'm hosting the AWCSF space, but I host a virtual film festival. And She Crypto is my co-host. And because of She Crypto, she introduced me to Sherry. And Sherry and I were talking, and I was like, oh my gosh, Sherry, you're like the perfect AWCSF Empower Yourself Monday guest. We need to know more about you. So I want to say, just give her a shout out, and I really appreciate her for introducing us. So Emily, I'm going to give you the mic, and Sherry, I can't wait for you to share your story. It's so empowering. The mic is yours, Emily.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Tonya. We're super excited to have Sherry here today with us. And a bit about her before we get started is over a decade ago, Sherry actually walked away from a successful business in corporate information technology to pursue her passion for storytelling. Since then, she's produced 3 feature films with her partner, Dina Engel and Modoc Spring. She recently created a series and produced the pilot episode of 48 Blocks, filmed entirely in and around Atlantic City, New Jersey. Sherry's love for Atlantic City, New Jersey takes many forms, including producing the short film Atlantic City, filming and directing recording artist Chris Kasper's City by the Sea music video, and working with the Atlantic City Arts Foundation to create and produce a documentary about Atlantic City's growing mural program. Sherry grew up in Delaware. She resides in Ventnor and Jersey City, New Jersey. And we welcome you today, Sherry. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Love that sound effect.
I know they gave me that soundboard, and I can't stop using it. I love it, though. I wanted to give you that. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be great to like be at a more personable level with people and just kind of talk about, some of my journey and challenges and really, my heart. So thank you for this opportunity.
So tell us a little about, you walked away. What was that trigger that made you walk away?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a trigger because, my life has been, a lot of different experiences. And, at this point, I'm going to, take hold of my age, thanks to She Crypto. In the beginning of being on social media, I was like, oh, if people know how old I am, how relevant can I be? And I want to talk about this today because it is a big part of empowerment, through the different stages of your life, is to be able to say, yes, what my life does matter, what I have to offer to society does matter. My experiences, matter. And these are the things that I want to be able to talk about. And to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous about talking about them. Social media, social audio, has been a challenge for me, and I really feel like I'm like coming out of my shell thanks to some people here that are supporting me and have supported me and given me a lot of good guidance along the way. So I just want to shout out to all my friends here that are supporting me in and outside the film industry. So the trigger, well, when I was young, my father gave me my first camera, and so I didn't get to spend a lot of time with my father because my parents were separated. So the times that I spent with him were really, a lot around creative things and taking pictures. And the other side of that was he was an engineer and also a pilot. So I got to experience, the right and left brain, and I feel like that's kind of what I bring to the table throughout my life, is being able to be on both sides and understand both sides, both creatively and technically. So, that was my empowerment, the camera, being able to kind of disappear behind the camera and look at life through a different lens. And not to go too deep into it, but I did have not the best childhood, and so this was kind of my escape. So I have always been a person that kind of made their own way, and I've been a very independent person from the time I was a kid. And always looking at ways to make it on my own and actually kind of leave my family as as soon as I could and get out on my own. And one of the ways I found to do that was with my camera. So I started shooting weddings and making money when I was 17. And that taught me a lot in so many different ways. I mean, at the time, it wasn't very creative, but it was something that I enjoyed doing. There were a lot of take this shot. You only have one, a couple rolls of film. You got to make the most of every shot that you take because every shot you took cost money, and if you missed a shot, you didn't get business again. So that was very empowering in a way because it taught me to, make the most of the tools that I had, and that the way to kind of be creative had to be almost mechanical, right? So I did that for a long time, and then I realized that I wasn't making any money. I was having a good time, but I wasn't making any money shooting my camera. So I went back to school for IT, and that brought me into the world of corporate pharma. I did some startup stuff back in, the .com days, and but I really ended up in corporate because that's the way I found I could make some money doing what I wanted to do. So when saying, a switch happened, it was like the switch was always there. It's just getting back to something I really wanted to do took a long journey to be able to do that. So along the way, even in corporate pharma, I was always looking and bringing new ideas to the table. I was always the risk taker. I was so not the traditional corporate person. I was always bringing new technologies to the company, both in to the sales force and to the marketing folks and to the IT people. So that became something that I really enjoyed, was kind of being the bridge between IT and marketing and sales because they really didn't know how to talk to each other. And that's what I loved doing. And so finally, I thought, I like doing this. I'm making a lot of money, but I really miss shooting my camera and I really miss being creative. And so that was I went back into shooting my camera. Now it's digital at this time, right? So I could combine my IT with my creativity and start doing weddings again, making a little money there. And that led me into filmmaking. So I didn't mean to go on and on and on, but that's the base of like how I got to where I am today.
Oh, no, you're perfect. Like, I've always believed that everything you do in life leads you to where you are today. And if you sit there and ponder what could have, would have happened, you wouldn't have happened. But if you just keep going and just listen to you talk, that strive, I don't know what it is, but along the way, ambition has been like, oh, it's a bad thing. When I was younger, ambition for a woman was just a really bad thing for some unknown reason.
Yes,
And today we celebrate it. We want women to be empowered, and because they say that women who are empowered empower the community. So
yes.
that's why I when I was reading your bio, I love what you do with your community too, like you getting involved in your community.
Yes, yes, it's all about community. And, that's, I say Web3 is all about community. And that's what really, I'm passionate about this. I believe together is how we make a difference. And I have a hard time talking about all the things that I've done and the experiences I have because I am not an ego driven person. And or I try not to be. Look, we're humans, but I work really hard at not being look at me, look at me, look at me, but how can I help you? How can we support each other to tell? At this point, what I want to do is tell great stories. Technology we leverage to tell great stories, but the real power of what I see behind what's happening Web3 is the building of community, finding other people that care about what you care about, finding other people that have similar stories to tell, and then joining hands together and working together to tell those stories. And, most of what I do with social audio and what I've done with Twitter is meet people and then reach out to them personally and build relationships with them. Because when it comes down to it, really success is about relationships and the company you keep.
They say you are what you surround yourself.
Yes. Yes. And that's, I think, that's the reason I stay on Twitter, is because I meet people that really, I want to know more. I want to help. I want to support their projects. There's so many people out there you just don't hear about what they're doing because they're not vocal. And it's important that we find these people and we support them, because there are so many unbelievable great stories to tell that will never make it through the Hollywood gatekeepers. So this is a way that we support each other in telling those stories and helping to make a better world.
I love that. And I think that's so true. I say that a lot in media overall, that there's just so much focus on celebrity culture and who's paying the most for advertising to get that coverage. And then, um, I'm sure there's all the underworkings of the film industry as well about who's getting documentaries made for what and who's getting funding for what. So I think it's amazing um, to go, and search out those people who may not be talking about what they're doing or may not have the budget behind it, but to be able to tell their stories. And that's such a huge way to build the community. So I think that's incredible what you're doing there.
Yeah, I think we need to all do what we can to educate people and onboard them into Web3, especially back when I started in IT, I probably was 1% of females that were in the IT world, and it was even a smaller percentage of women that were working in back when we called them PCs. I was even up against people that were that were the mainframe people. They had the power then, and what is this PC? And it's just for games, and there's always these roadblocks, and there will always be in life, and it's like, how do we get past them? And being a woman, I'm not saying oh, woe is me or us, but we do have additional hurdles to get over, and we're already seeing them in Web3. And I don't want it to be that way. It needs to be permissionless. We need to not be the gatekeepers to this new technology. And I'll do everything I can to keep the gatekeepers away.
Yeah, I find it unfortunate how quickly new technology, new industries, new anything, find ways to kind of block women out of it. So I love the idea of keeping those gatekeepers away and keeping it open and accessible for everybody.
Yes, I think sometimes women, automatically the next thing is, well, I have, we want our male allies. We feel like, I think this, that right away there's this, we have to say it. Whereas for me, I don't feel I have to say it. I have a lot of male allies. In fact, I had more male allies making it through the IT world than I had female allies. That was a bigger challenge than some of my male counterparts. in the IT, in the IT world. So I think it's important to have honest conversations, and I think sometimes that is lacking. And to be empowered, you need to be able to have a comfortable place to have honest conversations about what's happening, not to complain about them, but to identify them and see how we are going to get past those obstacles, by working together.
100%. And like we preach here a lot, like collaboration over competition, particularly amongst women, because we do need to empower and support one another. That's a huge part of moving ahead in the world as women overall. So something we say here quite a bit. Now, Sherry, I do have another question for you though, because I see that you're from Delaware. So how did you become like Miss Jersey? How'd you end up in New Jersey?
Well, kicking and screaming. I came to New Jersey. My wife. Well, we've been together almost 24 years, and she really grew up spending her summers in Atlantic City. So I grew up spending my summers in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So I always wanted to go to the beach, and she always wanted to go down the shore, as they call it, right? So when Dina sold her company, she started a company with her brother, years and years ago. And when they sold it, she said, "You know what? I really want to have a place at the shore." And I said, "Oh, I don't want to. Atlantic City. Oh, it's not the place I want to live. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful beach, but there's casinos, and there's crime, and there were just so many horrible stories I heard about Atlantic City." So when she said she wanted to live here, I was like, "This is crazy." And just to be clear, we live like a mile outside of Atlantic City, so it's called Ventnor, New Jersey. So that's how we ended up here. I just bit the bullet and did something that my wife wanted to do, and I thought, okay, let's try it. It's a new adventure. Let's just do it.
And then you ended up loving it there? Like, did it switch your stereotypes on its head?
Totally. Some of like in our pitch deck for 48 blocks, I created this story because growing up, I would come down here with my family and we would go, to see a concert, or, go to a restaurant or, gamble. My mom used to like to play the slots and everything, but we were always told, don't leave the boardwalk. It's a dangerous place. It's a place where you could get carjacked. It's a place where people, push drugs on you. You can get shot. There was this whole like never leave the boardwalk. And so when I came here, I was actually kind of scared. And then I started getting involved with the art community. And I thought, wow, I left the boardwalk. And there's this whole thriving community of people that are, looking to follow the American dream. There's, over 50 languages spoken here. It's a city by the sea. And not much is known about it other than casinos. So I wanted to tell those stories. And that's really how 48 blocks really happened, was me getting involved with that art community and a renaissance of sorts, of more than just casinos here, that there really are people, creative people, people raising families, a whole vibrant community. And yeah, I love it, and I don't want to leave now.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in New Jersey too myself, and actually when I worked for Foster Grant Sunglasses, I had South Jersey, like from Trenton. I'd work all the way down, but Trenton was like kind of like middle also, because my counterpartner, but she would, when she trained me, I had to go to Jersey Shores, and she was like in Atlantic City, and she was just like, "You, whatever you do not go." She's like, be careful, be careful. And I'm kind of like, well, it wasn't, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was great. I used to drive down there when it was snowing. It was kind of cool to drive in Jersey where the snow down in South Jersey, because it's, I don't know. That was quite a different experience for me, but I never thought of it as an art place, and then after speaking to you from our last space and looking at your project, 48 Blocks, I thought that was incredible. And also you do a lot too. You give back to your community. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, just giving back, I work with the university here, Stockton University, and made a documentary about the mural program, just to get the awareness out there. We're really trying to become, there's cities that have huge mural programs, and we'd like to be one of those cities. It brings people here for art, and not just casinos. So that's something that I was very involved with, and continue to be. Also work with the university, and I don't even have this in my bio yet, but something I did last year with the university we put together a proof of concept pilot for a series about the history of Atlantic City, but specifically some of the struggles of Atlantic City, meaning with the Black community and the vibrant Black community that used to be here. And then, fell into the casinos coming in and wanting to push the Black community out. And there was a segregated beach called Chicken Bone Beach. And so I did a 15-minute proof of concept pilot, really highlighting and working with some students at Stockton University to tell some of the story behind that segregated beach. And it's really, we have some people that are still living in Atlantic City that really want to tell the story and be heard. And we have an African American museum here that most people don't know about, that is just amazing and rich in the history, the jazz, community that was here. But not only that, the North Side, which was a thriving Black community, business community. And those are the stories that I want to help tell. So yeah, I need to get that out there. We were actually in a Series Fest competition where National Geographic was looking for stories about your city. So that's why we put that together. We ended up in the top 10, but they didn't give any laurels, so it was something I couldn't really go out there and wave our flag about. And also, it's something that, since I'm working with the university, they want it presented in a specific way. So now I'm opening the cam back up again and continuing to work on it so that we can share it with the world.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited for you. Do you think this would be like a Netflix? I mean, like I know a lot of people say Netflix is not happening these days, but I just find that they do a lot of different types of film and shows. I find it, I get obsessed with. So,
well, I would hope so, or maybe Discovery, and now that they're with Warner, that could be something that could happen. I do work with people, people that know me know there's projects I can't put out there because I'm under NDA. So I am working with some studios on some things, but I'm hoping this will get seen. But this is the challenge of indie filmmaking. It really, and I hope more indie filmmakers will get involved with what we're doing with Web3, because the biggest challenge is you're typically on an island by yourself when you're a storyteller. You may have a few friends that want to join in and help you, but it's really hard to get something made. And even with 48 Blocks, it's been 5 years since I came up with the concept. So getting past, raising money to shoot something is a challenge, in itself. Being able to produce something that's professional looking, that will get the attention of bigger streamers, is extremely hard to do, and then to get through those gatekeepers, even though I know, like I said, people at high levels, if the studio is not looking for what you are making, then it doesn't matter who you know. So it is all about community and the fact of supporting each other. And I know I keep going back to that, but the empowerment, you can empower yourself, and you can do, I can only do so many things, but I really need the power of community and like-minded people to get past these gatekeepers and tell the stories that should be told.
I want to clap for again. It's like, you're so true, so true. It is about 10:40. I want to go ahead and put the mic. If anyone want to grab a mic, you're welcome to grab a mic and ask some questions for Sherry. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here. And I want to say hi to Brent and also Tammy and also Shadi. Thank you. And Frico. Hey. And of course, She Crypto. Thank you for being here. And Allison and also Susie. And for the Fox, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you have any questions, please grab a mic. And so Sherry, now that you're very much involved in do you see yourself hosting events to try to recruit or try to bring new filmmakers on?
Well, what I'd like to do, and I'm speaking to a few people about this, is offering, spaces where we can do more of a film 2.5, and help bring traditional filmmakers, which I believe, Web 2, if you want to call them that. These filmmakers aren't even in Twitter spaces, and they aren't hearing enough about Web3 and how to work together as community. So we really need to get out there and onboard people, and teach them that it's not this NFT pyramid scheme, all this kind of stuff, but the power of what is really possible in using and leveraging these technologies. So that's really what I've been trying to do. I've been involved in the blockchain world because it wasn't called NFT or Web3 back when I got involved in 2018. And I really was looking, I was working under NDA for a studio, a couple studios, and they were looking at this technology of blockchain, smart contracts. And I was involved with a beta pilot for a group called Breaker.io. I didn't even know what a smart contract was. I didn't know what, a KYC was. And the more I dug into it because of my IT background, the more I'm like, this can make a difference for indie filmmakers to be able to monetize, because that's the hardest thing. How do we do what we love if we can't make money doing it? I mean, it's kind of a catch-22, right? It's a kind of a vicious circle. It's always like a side job that you got to do while you're, grinding at making money. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'd like to be able to offer that out to people, to actually address critical, be critical thinkers and address real issues and talk about how do we get past them, not to be negative, but to be supportive and to help each other, because we're all out there wanting to make good stories, and at the base of everything is good story.
Yeah, the Web3 is an exciting time for all of us, and so um, we have about 17 minutes, but I want to also touch base on your project in Film 3. Can you tell us a bit about that? And so since we talk about funding and everything, will you be and you're like the woman who knows a lot more than myself or anyone I've known about the crypto and the blockchain and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about your experience, and how do you see yourself as far as raising funding? Will you be tokenizing your projects?
Yeah. Let's see. So if I go back to the Breaker.io days, right? The whole idea in 2018 in working with them on, we put our first feature, The Suspect, on the blockchain, right? So the idea was to be able to have a smart contract where we actually, could share in the profits and own our own IP and keep our own IP, and not have to use these gatekeepers to actually make money on our project or to give it away, right? So we had, received distribution for all three of our features, but our first feature, The Suspect, it had starred Mekhi Phifer, who was the name at the time, but we also brought on Sterling K. Brown, and no one knew who Sterling was at the time. And he has gone on to win several Emmys as his role in This Is Us as Randall. But the problem was that we gave that IP away to our distributor, and at the time it was the only way to do it. So, when we wanted to take advantage of Sterling's stardom, and Sterling is an amazing guy, by the way, love working with him. He's the real deal. And we wanted to be able to promote it. He wanted to help us promote it, but we couldn't do it because we were under this distribution contract, and we still are. So we weren't able to take advantage of that. So I am looking at ways to do distribution differently. And so I'm looking for companies to partner with that will help us do that distribution. NFTs are great, and I think they work for some projects. The projects that I'm working on, including 48 Blocks, I don't know if that's really what's going to help me. I've already, raised the money with our team to make the pilot, and we raised 200,000. I'm not sure if going back with with NFTs for that project is the right way to go, but I do have some ideas that I'm not quite ready to share yet, but I am working on them. Does that help?
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
I can't tell enough right now. I can't tell enough.
Oh, no, I totally understand, actually.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for you. And so, and do you have any other projects that you're looking at down the road in the next couple of years?
I'm working on a children's animated story that we're making into a short that will totally have NFTs involved in it. We're hoping that it will become a series. I think it's a great place to be right now with telling children's stories through animation, and it fits right into not only NFTs but also the metaverse, gaming, building community, addressing social issues, helping children grow and see different people and how they live in the world outside of what they normally see. So bringing in diversity and the challenges that go along with being different, just like me, and the challenges I grew up with being different. So I'm really excited about that. We just finalized our script. So now we're looking at, what is our game plan and who are we going to partner with as far as an animation company to make this. Also, I'm working co-chairing, and this is what I wanted to talk about today, a festival with Lily Hahn from Hype TV, and it will be called Hype Fest. We are open for submissions. We are looking at underrepresented voices and up and coming filmmakers, along with just diverse international voices. We want to highlight stories that aren't that should be told that aren't being told, and I'm excited about that festival. So that's kicking off officially today. I'm introducing it and announcing it here.
Well, congrats. I wanted to also include, add in, Emily wrote a children's book. Emily, this. And Emily, her book was really good. Tell us about that, Emily. And I'd love to see that animated.
Me too. No, I wrote a children's book that is a rhyming ABC book. It's about careers that children may not ever know about, to help them find out that there's many possibilities in life, because I feel like many of us grow up and say, oh, if only I knew this was a job when I was younger. And so it's just a way of opening up this world of opportunity to kids at a young age, and teaching them about all these different jobs. But I wanted to also say to Sherry, feel free to contact me and DM or get my email from Tonya, because I work with like Film Mode Entertainment and ICA and like a few other different groups that we produce a bunch of animated films. We're actually doing one with Sterling K. Brown, as a matter of fact.
Oh my God! See,
and so,
this is the power. Okay.
yeah, our film, the film that I'm working with, is actually doing the festival circuit now. It's called Bug Therapy, and it's about mental health. And
Awesome.
we've got Dr. Phil and Megan Trainor and Sterling, and he is amazing to work with.
Yes.
And happy to put you in touch with some of the animated, like our animation team, and any of the other people we know, and through our clients as well. So definitely
Awesome.
reach out. Yeah, I love hearing all the stuff that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. As Film Freako, one of my new closest friends, would say, amazing.
I didn't even know about that. Congrats, Emily. That's awesome. She's kept it quiet. I didn't know you about that.
Yeah, no, that's it.
It's
We had to
hard in
wait
this
until
world, right?
it is,
Entertainment.
and you have to wait until certain things hit certain festivals and things that you can say. So there's always stuff under wraps that like we've got clients that are working on things that we can't say a word, and it's hard. We want to scream it from the rooftops, but you got to wait till all the papers are signed. Yep.
Exactly. I'm going to San Francisco in 2 weeks to work on a proof of concept television show. And I can't say anything about it except I'm going to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And it will have Web3 components. Everything I'm working on right now has a Web3, at least one Web3 component.
Which is smart. It's the way everything has to be right now, because everything does need to be somewhat interactive. People are itching for ways to really like integrate themselves in the story. And I feel like if you're not using Web3 with everything, then you're going to end up behind everyone else that's starting to use it. So you got to keep up.
That's true. That's true. And I just want to, say today too, that, everybody has a story. And, the people that are out there that want to make films, it's not easy. And I just want to say, I am, have a lot of experience and in a place in my life where I just want to help others. And again, not be gatekeepers, because we can be our own worst enemy. And I'm talking specifically about film right now. If we don't open the gates and allow each other to be part of what we are doing. It's not always who's first that is left standing. So we just need to bond together and make sure that we don't let the old models of Hollywood continue. And the only way to do that is to work together. Wag me or whatever we say, right? We're all in this together. And to win, we need to support each other. And that doesn't just have to be money. It's great to support other people's, NFT projects. And I try to do all I can. And that's how I met Film Freako. I love his project. And now I love him as a filmmaker. And there's so much out there that we're not seeing. So let's keep the gates open, and let's highlight projects other than a select few. It's so important right now. I've been through .com. I lived it. This is .com again, and I don't want it to turn out the way that it did. There's something for everybody here.
I love that so much. And there's something for everybody out there. It's the same thing like in business in general. Like there's business across the board. There's more business than for one person. So it's like open the gates, share the wealth, spread the information, educate each other, empower each other, and then we all get to do what we love.
Exactly. And I would please encourage people to come up and ask me a question. I hate talking about myself. So
no, you're good.
Please.
This is great. Thank
I
you
know.
so
Wait,
much.
and I will open the mic, but don't hate talking about yourself. Think of it as just facts, like straight up facts. It's not even bragging. You are just doing amazing things. You're helping the community. You've worked hard to get where you are, and it's facts. So spread those facts around.
I will say one more thing, since I talked to one of the companies I'm involved with about, being able to share a project we were working on. Last year, I was working on a very big NFT project for a Russian company that was, let's just say, they've had over 100 billion views on their animated series on YouTube. Okay, so huge. Such tremendous possibilities. We were ready to launch, and the company I'm was working with, we were doing the blockchain development. We had our own blockchain. We were minting our own NFTs. And so, a lot of learning, especially since we were doing it early on. Really, the only model out there was NBA Top Shot for what we were trying to do. Unfortunately, I couldn't talk about it. I could only say I was working with a company named Ting Tech, which is actually not really out there anymore, because we were really looking for our Series A funding to do, to build the company. And this, unfortunately, all ended because of, obviously the war with the Ukraine, and just the relationships that can't be anymore. The hardest part for me is there are a lot of talented people, creative people, looking at ways to really leverage Web3, that I won't get to work with anymore, and it's a shame that the people that live in Russia, won't necessarily be able to work with us anymore. And these are good people. And I just want to point out there were so many good people in Russia doing good things, that they need to be seen too. And so I wanted to be able to talk about that project.
Wait, and Sherry, I'm gonna again just jump in really quick. I think we might have been working on the same project. We also were working with a very large Russian animated series, children's show, huge, with like 5 million views, like top 10 on YouTube, and we were doing their social media. And I have a funny feeling you and I have actually been on emails and calls together, possibly.
Oh my God. Okay.
And definitely reach out to me, because I'm still in touch with a bunch of the animators and a bunch of the people from the main corporation through Facebook, because they're putting together other groups and doing a lot of things.
This is amazing.
So if we're talking about the same show, which I have a funny feeling we are, yeah, we definitely, there's some stuff going on too. So we should talk about that.
I love this.
Thank you.
I
And
love
this is why people need to speak up on spaces. This is the exact reason. This is why I had to come out of my shell, because this is the magic.
Yep. Every space, every time we do one of these, I feel like I'm connecting with just different people who are working on things that like we can either help with, or we need resources from, or it's just been incredible, like who we've been able to connect with through here.
This is so cool.
Before I give Brent the microphone, I think Tammy had requested the mic first. So Tammy, the mic is yours.
Hello.
Hi.
First, I want to say how incredible it is to just hear the connections being made in this space. I'm so happy for Sherry. It's really kind of interesting to hear that you've had past connections. But Sherry, my question is, so what are you doing in San Francisco anyway?
I can't tell you.
I can't believe, I'm like, what? Yeah, I've not heard about this.
It is so freaking exciting, and I wish I could tell people. I'm telling you, it's new, innovative, about inclusion, community, I don't know, food, I'll say.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Sherry and I met. We met here through Web3. She's one of my very good friends. I'm just blown away by her creativity, her compassion, and just her generosity, her support, everything about her. Um, I'm I'm just very proud to call you my friend. I sit in here and I listen to you, and you're so well spoken and your experience. You deserve everything that you're getting right now. So that's all I had to say. And I wanted to see if I could get anything out of you about San Francisco, but I'll wait until our private chat.
I love it. I love it. Brent, the mic is yours.
Morning, Tonya, and happy to be here with Emily and Sherry, and Tonya and Sherry. Uh, not not a question for Sherry, but a comment. I was intrigued when you said that that the films you are creating will have diverse international voices, because as a person with a disability, diverse voices are very important, as well as a seat at the table.
Yes, Brent. Sorry, I got a little emotional there. That's what drives me. My heart. So thank you, and thank you for being in this space and keep being heard. Keep speaking up.
Tonya knows, I started in spaces not talking much, but then it became a little bit more comfortable, and made an amazing friendship with Tonya, and she has been watching my journey into the journalism world as a disabled person.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, Brent. You've come a long, long way, and everything you've done, and the articles, the blogging that you're doing. My goodness, I never even dawned on me. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that you were coming this way, and all because of Twitter Spaces.
I have an offer for you, Sherry. If you need any like accessibility knowledge, or disability knowledge, uh feel free to reach.
Thank you, Brent. I will take you up on that. I actually heard about a project that was yesterday that's in the works with an animated. I believe it's a series. It might be a film, and it really focuses on disabilities. So maybe that's a good connection for you.
See what happens in Twitter Spaces, Tonya.
That's right. I just followed you back. So let's be in touch. That's what it's about, connections.
Thanks
Again.
for letting me make a comment, Tonya.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for coming and sharing with us. So it's about that time. That 1 hour just went by so quickly. But before we close out, let's do some final thoughts. Sherry, any final thoughts from you?
Oh, just thank you for inviting me to this space today. If I helped one person, then that's all that matters. If there's people that want to talk, have a project they want to talk about, my DMs are open, and I just want to be, again, we all need to work together to help the underrepresented voices in this world, and help our environment and our world. And so let's build beautiful stories together, and let's be permissionless. That's what Web3 is supposed to be. Let's see people and hear people and work together to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. And Emily, do you have any final thoughts? I'm just going to go around the space real quick, then we can close it out.
I mean, those were really good ones from Sherry, so I don't know how to top that one. Great job. Thank you for being here today, Sherry. And just to everybody out there, like, ladies, go out there and talk about yourselves today. Talk about how amazing you are, because again, it's all facts. So you're just spitting facts, not bragging, and that's the biggest thing I can leave anybody with today.
And Brent, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, if you sharing is caring.
Yes, sharing is caring.
Yes,
Definitely.
I love that one. Yep.
And Terry, I think and what about you, Terry? Any final thoughts?
I think that this platform is absolutely wonderful. Every show that we have, there's at least a few people who connect with the speaker. So I'm just thrilled to death about the whole thing. And Sherry, you were wonderful. Thank you so much for your time and your knowledge of what you're doing. It's an inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. And Tammy, I know you just popped in here, but can you want to give us some final thoughts, and we're going to close out the space.
Sure. Well, it's funny. My Good Morning Post this morning said, when someone does something nice for you or says something nice to you, try to practice gratefulness instead of guilt. Because I think a lot of times if someone does something nice for us, we're like, okay, we feel like we have to do something nice back because we feel guilty for accepting something, accepting compliments, accepting gifts, whatever it is, we have to do it back. And instead of that, we need to practice gratefulness and be like, wow, maybe I deserve that compliment. Maybe I deserve this, because we do deserve nice things. And instead of practicing guilt, practice gratefulness. And Sherry, you deserve what you got today.
I love that. That's so true. Gratitude. I practice gratitude with an attitude. That's what I tell people. I want to say thank you very much for everyone for being here again as the president of the Association for Women in Communication, the South Florida chapter. We really enjoyed these, our 60 minutes weekly Empower Yourself Monday. And if you have any women in your life or anyone that you would like us to, featured and chat about, again, just go ahead and follow us and give us a DM, and we'll take a look at them. We'll send you a calendar to see if any space is available. But again, everyone, thank you so much. And if you have any upcoming events that you want us to cover or know about, let us know. We'll take a look at it. And I appreciate everyone for being here. And again, this space is live streamed in all social network, and we're gonna be re-streaming it in another platform, but it's going to be replayed again this week. So I'll let everyone know. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you. And on that note, let's give everyone a clap. Bye, everybody. Have an awesome Monday.